The Seasons of Life Theory. Daniel Levinson was born in New York City in 1920. At the age of 27, he published his dissertation at the University of Berkeley on the measurement of ethnocentrism. 3 years later, he co-authored a book called The Authoritarian Personality about personality types resulting from childhood and was the most commended work in the field of social science of its time. In 1950, Levinson made a big transition to Harvard University and studied alongside other known psychologists, including Gordon Allport and Erik Erikson, for 12 years. In 1959, he wrote the famous article, Role, Personality, and Social Structure in Organizational Setting. In 1966, Levinson attended Yale University until 1990. He carried out an intensive research study involving 40 men between the ages of 35 and 45, which led to the publication of Seasons of a Man's Life in 1978. The theory of adult development, also known as the Seasons of Life development, is born. In 1966, Levinson. The Seasons of Life theory identifies stages in growth that occur well into the adult years, which is the stage in which a person leaves adolescence and begins to make choices about adult life. There are 5 main stages that Daniel Levinson goes over. The Seasons of Life theory identifies stages in growth. Levinson's first adult stage in his model is called the early adult transition period. This stage concerns the young adult's identity crisis or role confusion. It is during this phase that the young adult first gains independence and leaves the home. This is a transitional stage because it marks the end of adolescence and the beginning of adulthood. The second stage would be a stable period because it marks the time where the adult must pick a role, establish goals, and build a life structure. This stage provides the young adult with any roles and choices for their future. Levinson believes that it is during this time that the young person dreams of his future successes in a career, family life, and status. Levinson also believes that the presence of a mentor or older teacher is a great influence in guiding the person through the obstacles in their career paths. The third stage can be divided into 2 parts. It's called the age 30 transition. The first part of this phase deals with when the young adult reflects on their career and past successes and also plans for future successes and status in their career, as well as making plans and starting a family and settling down. The second part of the age 30 transition period is the settling down stage. It is in this stage that the person feels the need to establish a role in society, whether in their career or their family life, whichever is most central. The fourth phase of Levinson's model is called Becoming One's Own Man, or BOOM phase. In this stage, the man feels constrained by the authority figures in the world. The individual wants more independence, authority, and to be true to their own voice. With this larger amount of authority, there comes a greater amount of responsibility and burden. This is also a time of conflict, as the person struggles with the notion of becoming an established adult and leaving behind the flaws of the early adult they once were. Levinson uses the phrase breaking out to describe the adult's radical change in life structure. In the midlife transition, much soul searching and reflecting is done. The adult questions their past life structures and accomplishments and reevaluates their goals. There are very few adults, according to Levinson, that find this middle life stage difficult. The painful process of the midlife transition stage results in a drastically different life structure with new goals within it. Even if an adult chooses not to change their life structure, they must still reappraise their life and recommit themselves on different terms to their old choices. The first question I thought would be most common is, when and where would this theory be used? And my answer is that it would be used by social workers, counselors, and mentors to guide people based on their perceptions and mentality during each stage. The second question I thought would be really useful to answer was, how is this theory important to the world and the field of social work specifically? And I came up with the answers that it is important to understand constant development even throughout adulthood, and to comprehend the mentality and mindset of the clients according to the stage they are in. And my reference list concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time.